Welcome to Jason Mitchell Outdoors Television. Join us as we showcase some of the greatest hunting and fishing opportunities across the Midwest. There, we got him. Whoa! There's a fish. Oh, just like that. Thanks so much. That's a beauty. Got it. Today's show is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Yarcraft Boats, Evinrude BRP, Jason Mitchell Elite Series Rods, North Dakota Tourism Legendary, Cooper Chevrolet, Clam Ice Fishing, Northland Fishing Tackle, US Reel, Trigger X, Smallmouth Fishing Lures, and Bionic Line. Follow Jason Mitchell Outdoors online at jasonmitchelloutdoors.com or become a fan on Facebook. There, we got him.
Good job.
Whoa.
Good fish, Jason?
Can't tell yet.
He looked like it when he rolled there, though.
Whoa.
I got one.
You got him? All right.
Yep.
Woo! Isn't this cool? Boy for power. Isn't that fun? That's as good as it gets.
Yep.
Right there. Okay.
That's a good bass.
That's a nice bass there, huh? Oh, look at that beauty. Show everybody what all the excitement's about. Isn't that fun stuff there?
You bet.
Wow, look at that. Isn't that a beauty there? Isn't that a beauty? I just love fishing for these fish. Welcome to this episode of Jason Mitchell Outdoors. We're in that Glacial Lakes area of South Dakota, which is really renowned for great walleye fishing. It's a great ice fishing destination. Obviously the jumbo perch made this area famous, but one of my favorite things are these critters right here, these brownfish. These bass are just an exciting fish, and these lakes have so many opportunities for beautiful fish. They're abundant, they're fun to catch, they're exciting, they jump, and I tell you what, when I come down here, we always joke that walleyes might make the phone ring, and obviously in this neck of the woods where people are so consumed with walleye fishing, we got to do a certain percentage of walleye shows. But I tell you what, when I fish for fun, this is what I like to do right here.
Yep. Good job, Jason.
That
nice
is good
fish.
stuff.
Let's get another one, huh?
Absolutely. Boy, never get tired of that. There's another fish with it too, Dennis. That's cool when you reel in these fish, and there's a couple of them following it right in. But yeah, just across the Dakota is just an underutilized resource. It's just a lot of fun. There we go. Whenever you can catch fish casting lures like this too, in particular, that makes it even better. That's just the icing on the cake. When you get a few jumps out of these fish and a few good runs, I can see why bass are so popular in the rest of the country, huh, Dennis?
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, you're one of the few people that does fish for bass around here. You know, describe to me and our viewers, you know, what's the lure of bass fishing? Why do you enjoy it so much?
Well, you get a lot of action, you know, and then of course you're always doing something, such as casting, and I like that type of fishing, Jason, and you know, they're starting to get a lot more pressure up in this country, which it doesn't hurt because of the regs we got on is fine. But used to be, there'd be a lot of days I'd be out on a lake fishing bass and never see anyone else that was, you know. But yeah, I'd say the action and then the sheer numbers that you'll have on a good day.
What are the types of structure, what's the types of spots that you're finding fish in? And are you seeing a big difference in where you're finding largemouths versus smallmouths? And What are some of the things that you're looking for?
A lot of times I'll find them together, but you know, in the fall I love fishing the deep smallmouth on the deep rocks. And then this time of year, if you could find a really good cabbage weed bed, which for some reason this year they don't look very good. I don't know if it's because of all the runoff we've had, but if you can find a good cabbage weed bed, that'd have both species in it most likely. And then, you know, it's usually hard bottom will, you know, the rocks and that will hold the smallies. And then this type of stuff that we're looking at here, even though, you know, you just caught that smallmouth, Jason, has a tendency to hold more largemouth in the reeds and that.
Follow Jason Mitchell Outdoors online at jasonmitchelloutdoors.com or become a fan on Facebook. There's a lot of different lures that work out here, and part of the fun, at least for me, is you go out every day, and every day is a different day, and it's just putting together those patterns. I mean, sometimes they might be on offshore structure or islands, sometimes they're going to be on shorelines. Sometimes the key is finding, large boulders, round rocks. Sometimes it's cabbage, sometimes it's pencil reeds. You're looking for different types of profiles on the shoreline, different types of weeds, different types of rocks, shapes of rocks, and you catch a few fish, the day progresses, and you start to put together that pattern. For me, that's the fun part each day, is finding that pattern. There's a lot of different lures that work, and some of it obviously depends on where we're fishing, but by and large, one of my favorite things to do, just from a fun factor, is just tossing these top waters. That's lure there is called a salmo pop. That's a really good lure, and you just twitch it back. And nice thing about a salmo pop or top waters in general is that you can be in really shallow water and fish the surface. You can fish the surface slow if you want and keep out of the debris, that whether it's slime, moss that might be on rocks, weeds. You can just skim over the top of everything by working the surface. A lot of the times we're finding fish in pencil reeds or cabbage, and by far one of my favorite, that's caught a few fish here today, but this is just a spinner bait, and I like these willow leaves for fishing fast, for covering water, but in all these glacial lakes, if I were to just pick one lure, across the board, it would definitely either be a plastic swim bait or one of these spinner baits. And this is just a reed runner spinner bait made by Northland. Sometimes too, in these shallow prairie lakes, especially you get wind, turbid water, generally you want good visibility, but obviously you can't always control that. And so there's also a time and place where these rattle baits work really well. This is a salmo zipper here. This is a really loud rattle bait. You can just really feel that lure working through the water, but that's another option. So we have top waters as far as the poppers, spinner baits, rattle baits, and finally, these plastic swim baits. When things are really tough and you can't catch them on anything else, this will usually get them. This is just a Northland jig head with a barbed shank for keeping these soft plastic tails on. That's just a Trigger X body, and these Trigger X tails just work extremely well for both smallmouth bass and walleyes. And finally, just a traditional bucktail hair jig, and this is just a mimic minnow paddle tail, and that's kind of the spectrum of lures that we often move through. We start out with the top waters, the more the fast presentations, more the aggressive presentations. If we can't get them on that, we'll slow down, we'll use the soft plastics in the hair, and usually, by just trying to find where they're located and just going through these different options, you're going to find something that works. And these fish are just a blast to catch. I can't imagine fishing for these fish all day and catching them and not enjoying yourself. If you don't enjoy these, there's just something wrong, because no other fish fights harder or jumps more. At least, in the Dakotas, Minnesota, size for size, it's as good as it gets.
Little guy.
There's a fish. There we go.
Good one, Jason?
Yeah. Boy, that fish just came up and mugged it. Whoa, there's another one with it, Dennis. There, right out in here, there's at least one or maybe two more fish with it. Wow. Is that fun? Is that fun? I just love these fish. So we had to switch from top waters. We were casting top waters earlier. Winds come up a little more, sun's come out, and so using another very productive lure in this area, and that's these reed runner spinner baits. But oh, I don't want to blow up on these fish. But just yeah, anything that flashes, shimmies, shines, I think at some point is going to catch these fish. this one is way up there. I don't know what it is yet, but
Whoa,
whoa.
big one, big bass.
White bass.
No, big largemouth.
Is it?
Yep.
All right. Boy, he's fighting hard.
He might be a little hooked, a little funny or something.
Whoa, that is a nice one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Why don't you go grab the net, Dennis?
Oh, I'm casting. You can mouth him. Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay, I got the net. Oh yeah, nice
That's
one.
That's a dandy there.
Yep, that's a dandy.
That is a cool thing about most of these lakes that do have great smallmouth bass fishing. You're also going to see a few largemouths. And I've been with you in the past where, we've caught both, within, not necessarily on the same spot, but generally, close proximity where you'll find one, sometimes you'll find another, but boy, what a nice bonus fish. If you'd like to find out more information on fishing northeastern South Dakota, contact the South Dakota Glacial Lakes Tourism Association.